Alright guys, welcome back. This is Henry coming at you with a new video, and today we're actually going to be taking a look at the upcoming Unihertz Titan 2 Elite and see how it compares in size to its potential competitors. So recently I uploaded my first YouTube short on this cool new 3D print. Details below on how to print your own, which gives us a solid look at the device using the dimensions outlined by Unihertz. This will be really interesting, guys. So with the Unihertz Titan 2 Elite here, we have a compact QWERTY device with a capacitive keyboard in the style of the classic BlackBerry piano keys. Something I know a lot of folks really love. On the side here, we do have a power button with a fingerprint scanner built in and a potential convenience key right below that. On the left-hand side, we do have the volume rocker and a full 4.03-inch display, similar to what we see in the Clicks communicator. And the just announced Musu 22, the AI-focused gadget similar in concept to the Eco Mind 1. Alright, so let's go ahead and get this started, and the first device we're going to be taking a look at is the Clicks communicator. Here we can clearly see how much shorter the Titan 2 Elite is, and see that the real difference lies in the Click communicator's larger oval-shaped keys. And of course the chin at the bottom that houses the front-facing speakers, which really does give your thumbs a place to rest. Coming over to the side here, we do see the individual keys for volume control and the kill switch on the communicator, with the volume rocker on the Titan 2 Elite here. Up top we have the power key and the headphone jack, and nothing has been shown for the Titan 2 Elite yet. And over on the right hand side, we do see the prompt key for the communicator, and of course the power, fingerprint scanner, and convenience key for the Titan 2 Elite. Unihertz has just shown off the back of the device, which features the dual camera and flash with the flat back and of course this nice orange color. We should have a full hands-on with the device at Mobile World Congress in Barcelona next month with the full specs released. As far as the back goes, the communicator does have these nice chamfered edges, which really does help with the grip of the device. However, when pretending to type on this, I have noticed a slight wobble of the device. Now, of course, this is going to come down to the final weight of the finished product, and we can't test that here. But with the Unihertz Titan 2 here, there is no wobble. The flat back here really does lend itself to just a bit more stability. Of course, it's going to come down to the final fit and finish of each device. And with that said, I do expect any screen protector for the communicator to be compatible with the Elite. It's really going to come down to preference between these two devices, whether you want the smaller, more compact Elite here, or the sleekness of the communicator and the ergonomics that it comes with. Now, I personally have already pre-ordered my communicator, and I'm looking forward to receiving that later this year. And while I like the size of the Elite here, I am curious to see what the final software will be like, since what we've seen so far doesn't really seem that well fine-tuned for the square aspect ratio. But we'll have to see how customizable that software truly is. And I do trust that the design team over at Clicks will put just as much attention on their software as they have on their hardware. And we'll see what Unihertz delivers next month. Alright, so next up we do have the Razer Berry. And right away, of course, you can see how much smaller the Elite is compared to the Razer Berry, stopping right at the edge of the case here. And taking a look at the keyboard here, you can see that the keycaps are a bit wider here on the Elite compared to the Razer Berry, and that is due to the fact that the Elite is just a little bit wider, with Unihertz taking full advantage of what they've built here, right? So the full screen, full keyboard, and the tiniest baby chin here at the bottom, and essentially no waste of space. And again, we do get that full screen on the Elite here with the front-facing camera in the upper left-hand corner there. Now, one thing I will say that I might miss is the ability to unfold the display. Whether you're trying to do some scrolling or you have a video and you want to get the full aspect ratio for that, it is really cool to just be able to flip it open and, of course, flip it right back closed and type away. With the communicator and the Elite here, we are limited to the square aspect ratio, which is why I believe they're marketing the communicator as a great companion device, focusing on its communication abilities. And as of now, Unihertz has not officially started marketing their device in terms of intention, but it will be interesting to see how they do so. Alright, and of course I wanted to take a look at some other devices we have around here. And the first one will be the Q10. This was one of my favorite Blackberries when it released, and still is due to the size, but look how close that is, guys. That is really awesome to see. We'll take a look at the keyboards here, and you'll see that the Unihertz does have the larger keycaps. Here's the left-hand side, right-hand side, and of course the top and bottom. Alright, so next up we have the Bold 9780, and again you can see how close this really is in size and how pocketable the Elite might actually be when it releases. That is really cool to see. Now, in terms of marketing, I would be really surprised if Unihertz doesn't lean into the pocketability of this device. And next we do have the Pre 3 here, again highlighting the compactness of the Elite. And now that we're in this QWERTY renaissance, or revival if you will, I do think manufacturers should target a slider. And now I do know Clicks sort of has done that with the Power keyboard, which will allow you to keep your full screen and have the keyboard attachment, but a horizontal slider would be something really interesting nowadays. And last but not least, we do have the HP Veer, which when slid open is almost the height of the Elite here. And again, if I was Unihertz, I would definitely market the pocketability and compactness of the device that they've built here. Alright, and next I wanted to compare it to some household items. Here is my Bellroy Slim Sleeve. You'll see this is not that much larger, guys, than a small wallet. We'll go ahead and open that up here. And we'll grab the communicator just to have that side by side also. And I am really digging the dimensions here, guys. It is smooth. It is awesome to hold. It is, look at that thickness. 10mm thinness. And with these chamfered edges, and the communicator is not far behind on that one. Wow. Speaking of household items, a PS5 controller. Why not? Let's take a look at it. And because we have it, a pack of gum. Look at that, guys. Alright, here it is next to my Moleskine notebook. And like the notebook, this really does seem like it's going to be a great tool. And with the communicator marketing itself as a great secondary device, and I know a lot of folks will use it as their primary, with the screen limitation there, it makes sense. And I will be curious to see how Unihertz markets theirs. And it'd be surprising if they don't lean into the compactness of the device, seemingly an edge they would have over the communicator at this point. Now, the Elite here is rumored to have a 5,000 milliamp hour battery versus the 4,000 milliamp in the communicator, and 12 gigs of RAM versus the 8 gigs of RAM. So it will be interesting to see how battery life fares between the two devices here. And they may again come down to software optimization. And of course, this is just to say a great time to be a keyboard lover. I don't think there's much more we could have asked for. This is a great start to 2026 and a great start to the future of intentional tech. Until next time, guys,